imagine a conflict so tense that a single tree nearly triggered a new war. In August 1976, deep inside the Korean demilitarized zone, an area separating North and South Korea, a routine tree-trimming operation turned into one of the Cold War's most dangerous confrontations. The incident began when United Nations command personnel attempted to trim a large poplar tree that was blocking visibility between security checkpoints. What should have been a simple maintenance task quickly escalated into an international crisis. On August 18, 1976, a team of American and South Korean soldiers entered the joint security area to prune the tree. As they worked, a group of North Korean soldiers approached and demanded that the operation stop. The request was ignored because the work had already been authorized. The confrontation rapidly became violent. In the chaos that followed, 2 U.S. Army officers, Captain Arthur Boniface and Lieutenant Mark Barrett, were killed. Several other personnel were injured. The shocking attack immediately raised fears that a larger military conflict could erupt on the Korean peninsula. News of the incident quickly reached military and political leaders in Washington, Seoul, and around the world. The United States and South Korea faced a difficult decision. They needed to respond firmly to the attack, but they also wanted to avoid triggering a full-scale war. Tensions rose dramatically as military forces across the region increased their readiness levels. For several days, the possibility of armed conflict seemed dangerously real. The response came in the form of Operation Paul Bunyan, named after the legendary giant lumberjack from American folklore. The mission's objective was simple: cut down the tree completely. But the scale of the operation was anything but simple. On August 21st, an enormous show of military force was assembled. Hundreds of troops, engineers, and security personnel were deployed. Attack helicopters circled overhead. Fighter jets stood ready nearby. B-52 strategic bombers were positioned as a warning. Aircraft carriers and additional military units were placed on alert throughout the region. As chainsaws roared to life, soldiers moved into position around the tree. The operation lasted only a short time, but every moment carried the risk of escalating into open warfare. North Korean forces observed the activity and mobilized their own troops, creating a tense standoff watched by the world. Both sides understood that a single mistake could trigger a much larger conflict. Remarkably, no shots were fired. The tree was successfully cut down, and the operation was completed without further violence. The overwhelming display of force achieved its objective while avoiding a direct military clash. Although the crisis ended peacefully, it remains one of the most extraordinary moments of the Cold War. Today, Operation Paul Bunyan is remembered as one of history's strangest military operations. A dispute over a single tree brought 2 heavily armed adversaries to the brink of war. The incident demonstrated how small events can escalate into major international crises, and how careful strategy, combined with overwhelming deterrence, can sometimes prevent conflict. More than 4 decades later, the story of Operation Paul Bunyan remains a remarkable example of Cold War tension at its most dramatic.